Good morning. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. Really glad you could join me today out here in the vegetable garden. I'm out here at my outdoor structure. Well, I have a subscriber by the name of Steph23 asked me if I could do a video showing how I make my delicious and tasty mint tea. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do out here in the garden. So thanks for joining me today. So 2 or 3 weeks ago I did a video. A viewer had asked me where I got these handles on for these masonry jars. These are 32 ounce standard mouth, and so I typically fill this with my mint tea that we drink all summer long. And so to me it's just a really tasty drink. It's really something easy to make, and so I decided to get out my old camp stove and cook the mint tea out here. Sure is a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania, Zone 6. I can hear the Carolina house wren out in the woods. That's the birdhouse my sister gave me there on the tree behind me. The babies are really active. You can really hear them chirping. But anyhow, it's a nice overcast day here. It's a great day to be working out in the garden. It's a great day to be videoing because you don't have all that harsh sunlight to deal with. And so I had a subscriber ask me to do a video on how I make my peppermint tea. Actually, what started all this was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Another subscriber had asked me where I got these handles for these 32 ounce standard mouth jars, and they really make a beautiful drinking glass. And so I did a video showing where you can get that on Amazon. And then Steph23 had asked me about how I make this mint tea, and so it's really something easy to do. I have eight mint sprigs here, stalks that I went over and I cut from our mint garden. We have an herb garden right behind our kitchen window, so it's nice and convenient and close to the house. And I like using these heavy-duty KitchenAid shears to go out and even pick my peppers out in the garden or my tomatoes off the vine, and they really work well for these spearmint sprigs here. And so what we do is we use this pitcher here. It holds 3 quarts of water. And so what I'm going to do is get this stove started here. I'm going to first pour my 3 quarts of water in my 4-quart pot. And simply what you're going to do is just bring that water to boil. I'm just going to take these branches here, these sprigs, stick them in the water, and then bring them to boil. And then you can let them steep anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. Spearmint leaves also have some health benefits to them. It has manganese and copper and vitamin C. And so I also checked online where, a lot of people only steep their mint leaves for like 15 minutes or more. So, that would be a personal preference for you. We like steeping them 2 to 3 hours. That way they really extract all the flavors out of the mint leaves. You can see how nice and dark that is. And you could also sweeten it if you want, if that's your personal preference. I just drink it plain. You could either add honey to it or sugar. And so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to put a lid on this, and then we're going to bring it to boil and then let it cool down. And then what I'm going to do is I have a strainer here and then a large Tupperware container, and I'm just going to pour the cooled down mint leaves and the water in here and strain out the leaves, and then simply just pour it back into my pitcher here. Well, the mint tea is starting to boil, so what I'm going to do is just shut this off and put the lid on it, and then come back in about, I'd say, 2.5 hours. Well, it's been 2.5 hours, and so let's check this out. And so this smells really good. And so what I want to do then is just take my container here and my strainer, and then just carefully pour it in. You can see it has a nice deep rich color because it's been steeping so long. And then what you can do, they're also calling for some rainstorms maybe within the next half hour or an hour. So this was all good timing with letting all this steep or sit there in the water, in the 3 quarts of water. And of course, the longer you let the leaves sit in that hot water, the more concentrated the liquid's going to be. And again, so that's all personal preference, whether you want your water or your leaves to soak in the water for 15 minutes or 2 to 3 hours. And so I'm just going to take this and pour it into my container here. And it actually was able to cool down pretty well with sitting there for 2.5 hours. So you can see it's got a pretty nice color to it. And so this tastes really great. Now, one thing I do is I have like a half-gallon insulated water jug that I take to work. And I'll pour like 2 cups of this into my water. It's well water that I have from my house. We have a 300-foot well. And I just love my well water. And so I add a couple cups of this to the well water just to give it a nice little mini taste to it. And I think that's about it. And obviously you'd also want to just keep this mint stored in your refrigerator. And so if you have any questions or comments about this video, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And you can also visit us at plantsmartliving.com, and there you can learn more about gardening and also how you can reclaim and restore your health by adopting a whole food, plant-based, vegan lifestyle. Well, anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day and a bountiful garden season. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.